Thank you for coming here on Halloween. I mean, you being an American, what does Halloween mean to you?
I think it's an opportunity for reflection and connection to both this side of the veil and the other. I love the movie. What is that beautiful movie about the child who loses his grandparent and goes after the other side to chase him? Coco is one of my favorite Pixar movies of all time. And that's more about the Day of the Dead, which I think is the next day. Though I love that idea of connecting to the souls that have passed, particularly because my dad just passed away on February 25th of this year.
So this is going to be the first Halloween in that sense after that.
Yeah, the first Halloween, the first Christmas without my dad, and the first of many, as we already celebrated the first birthday without my dad.
I can so relate to that. I think whenever there's bigger shifts in our lives, that first year, I like to call it, when everything happens for the first times, all these things that repeat themselves, that are traditions, rituals, are the ones that are still the most sad, probably. And
it's different for me, Reggie, if I'm being really frank with you and your audience. How do I even say this? I think I might have shared this publicly on another show, but I'm not attached to death in the same way most people are. My dad's soul actually told me he would die 30 days later in mid-January. I was on a FaceTime call with him. He was perfectly healthy, and I'm deeply, deeply intuitive. I spend about 2 hours a day in prayer and meditation. And I was just on the phone with my dad one morning, his time, and I knew he would die 30 days later. And my mom and I had a very candid conversation. And sure enough, he did pass away about 30 days later.
Oh, that's beautiful. I think that's sometimes also what I associate with, I guess, images. And so I get from, I would say, more ancient cultures, where people were together and it was somehow, people were aware if it was the moment for someone to transition. And it is,
it's just a transition. I love Bruce Lipton. Do you know Bruce Lipton's work in the United States? Yeah. So Bruce, I've had the pleasure of having on my Regarding Consciousness show and just getting to know Bruce. I actually did an interview with Deepak Chopra and Bruce Lipton a few years ago. And one of my favorite analogies that Bruce uses is he's like, let's say, Reggie, that you like Game of Thrones. You love watching Game of Thrones. It's your favorite movie ever, and your TV set breaks. Does Game of Thrones still exist? Yes, of course it still exists. You just need another television set. That's it. It doesn't mean that it stops existing. So my dad's frequency or Game of Thrones show is still very much there. He needs a new TV set. In the interim, I can still tune into him anytime.
That's a beautiful metaphor and image, for that. Yeah. And I know you have so many of these. Already this morning when you came in, you gifted me some. And let me maybe say 2 or 3 sentences about what else you do. And again, it will just be a fraction of what all there is.